Did you know study shows that having a toxic boss is not just an 8-hour problem? It follows you home and affects your physical, mental health, relationship, and overall quality of life more than you think. According to Gallup, one of the most trusted names in global workplace research, the active disengagement caused by your toxic boss can make your life as miserable as, or even worse than being unemployed. After spending 5 years in corporate, I can say from my experience, I couldn't agree more. And here's the scariest part, you might not even realize how serious is this damaging you and your life. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 types of toxic boss, showing you how they could be very damaging to your life right now, and explain what you can do about it. The first type, let me introduce the micromanager. This is the type of boss that who constantly check in your progress, demands you frequent update, insists you to follow the exact process they instruct you to do. They need you to follow in the smallest and finest details. They are the one who call you every single hour, and this exactly happened on me. They are the one who reject your work despite that you have met all the requirements just because you didn't follow their exact process. They are the one who obsess over formatting, style, font, text color, and fail to recognize are they actually considering the overall objective. This happened because they are very insecure and have an overwhelming need to control you. They don't trust you. They don't trust their employee and their abilities. So they need to control every single details. The next, let me introduce the neglector. They totally ignore our mental and physical health. They won't even let you call sick when you are really sick. Even when you do call sick, they will think you are just making it up. They are the one who do nothing when you are overwhelmed with work. I honestly don't know what happened to them to make them this heartless. But wow, that's really opened my eyes. I had a really bad experience about this type of boss. I need to go back to my home country for a surgery. I gave them all the paperwork and everything months in advance because I know that the decisions takes time. So during the whole waiting game, we have the salary review. I knew that I was underpaid compared to the market. So at the same time, I asked for a salary raise. They shut down my raise request right after I requested, but I still hear nothing about my surgery leave. And what happened next is I have explained to them I might need to leave the company if I don't grant my surgery leave. I am just asking for 2 weeks. Then after explaining all of this, my director has requested me to make a decision about staying or not within 2 days because they need to think of the recruitment. But meanwhile still ignore about my request or don't give me any follow-up about my surgery leave request. I know that my surgery wasn't life or death, but health is truly important. I was mentally really stressed about the symptoms that showing up every single day. At that time, I felt like I worked hard in this company and really being neglected, and I just felt a little bit being abandoned. The way how they handle this thing really shows that who are they, and I'm just really shocked because you would never do something like that to your family, right? I also heard about a woman who coughed so bad and her lung scan turned white, so there is something very serious going on in her health, but she felt like she couldn't even take a sick leave because of work. Honestly, your health truly comes first. Without health, you can't do anything. Once your health is gone, everything just goes with it. The third is the pivot master. They are the one who has no strategic planning in their head. Whenever they think of something, they will immediately instruct you to do it, and then after hours they realize, okay, actually they don't need it, or they change plan, they change directions. Then you have to redo everything again, or what you've done is actually meaningless. While this type of toxic boss doesn't hurt you as obvious as the others do, but they are the hidden potential danger that I will explain to you in the next part of this video. Number 4, the ghost boss. They are the one, when you ask for help, they disappeared. Especially during the critical times. They will ask you to figure it yourself, ask colleague, or even don't reply your message. Just not helpful generally. It's like you having a partner, but you can't find someone to talk to share your feelings, to ask for support when you need. I always want to tell them if I could figure things out by myself, then I'm not at this position. The last one, credit stealer and the blame shifters. They are the one who will never acknowledge you when things going well. But when there's problems arise, you are the one to blame. They will question your decisions. They will question the way that you work in front of others, in front of seniors, in front of directors, in front of the clients. Some of them may quite direct, like they will blame you in front of people, but some of them are more sophisticated, are more hidden. They will make you explain your mistakes in front of people during a meeting. Like they will ask you, how do you come up with that? Or they will quietly pin the problem on you during their meeting with a senior without you even knowing. All these situations I described have happened in my life. Working with a toxic boss has massive impact on your health, whether it is your physical health and also your mental well-being. The constant stress from working with them has a huge impact on your body. When your stress hormone levels are elevated every single day, your blood pressure rises, your sleep quality will deteriorate, and your immune system will weaken. And all of this will contribute to bigger problems, more serious problems. The micromanager will keep you always in a fight and flight mode, while the neglector and the ghost boss will leave you feeling being abandoned and isolated. Then all of this will contribute to the chronic stress, while the credit stealer and blame shifter will cause you to live in constant anxiety, obsessively double-checking your work because you worry that they will call out for your mistake during the meetings. This emotional burden don't just vanish after work, you will carry them going back home. In my case, I had a boss that is a perfect storm, a micromanager who constantly monitoring me and devalued me, a neglector who wouldn't even approve my leave, a ghost boss who never tried to be helpful, and a credit stealer take all the credits and blame me when there's mistakes. Working with them led me to a constant stress. I found myself crying after meetings, my heart would race before the meeting, and my hands are sweating when I'm presenting during the meeting. I become so frustrated and reluctant to go into the office because I don't want to face them directly. The reality is very simple. A toxic boss can really impact your mental and physical health. They can make you sick. And you may think that, of course, you know they will affect your mental and physical health, but you still do nothing about it. So I hope that you can stay till the end, listen to the solution part, and really try to take some actions to protect yourself. Working with a toxic boss can significantly decrease your productivity. With the micromanager, they constantly require updates and check in with you. They constantly calling you. You will find yourself thinking about how to present the updates and then preparing the update itself. After the update meeting, then you go back to work. There's a research showing that you need to take 23 minutes for you to concentrate and focus back on the work that you are doing. So if you're just taking up phone calls, having meeting with them, and going back to work, you're wasting so much time to back to the focus, to back to the flow state. Working under a pivot master means you waste countless hours redoing things, or even waste countless hours to do things that's actually not required. This constant switching of the task makes you harder to focus and complete anything properly. My experience working with a pivot master almost drives me insane. He would think of something and he just call me and ask me to do it and make me to put on everything that I'm doing right now. And then after a few hours, he will call me again and said, okay, I actually don't need this thing right now. You can focus back to what you are doing and still don't change the deadline. All that time I can spend better by concentrating on the task that I'm actually working on, finishing the task, or even just work on my YouTube channel. With the ghost boss, you cannot get the information you need when you have difficulties. This will stall your progress, and when things have been stalling for a long time, you will lose motivations to complete it. And this also keep an open tab in your mind that you have to finish it, but at the same time no one is helping you. This will take up your mental space. You will find yourself thinking about it all the time, and it will kill your productivity. Plus, without a proper guidance, you will find yourself having mistakes, and then, which means you need to do it again. A toxic boss can seriously damaging your career development, skill development, and also not allowing you to get promotion. Take a micromanager for instance. They just never satisfied about your work. When they dissatisfy it, then you are done with your appraisal. They will give you really bad feedback about it. They will create an environment that you can't think you can't develop the critical thinking skills because they think that their solution is the best and your solution is the worst. Then time goes by, you stop bringing new ideas to the company. Comes to a neglectful boss, it is your career dead end. You cannot receive any feedback, you are not receiving any guidance, mentorship, you're not improving. So you don't know how to grow and improve professionally. Ghost boss could be even worse. They disappear at the critical time. For example, before you having a meeting with a client, they leave you to handle all of the challenging works. So if this is spotted by much more senior level person and you didn't do it correctly, they would think it's your problem instead. The credit stealer and blamers can be the most damaging to your career. They will throw you under the bus when things didn't go right, but they will take all of the credits when things doing well. Before you know it, everyone may think that you are incompetent, you just not qualified enough. Eventually, you will develop an attitude of why bother, which will damage your career path. With micromanager, you may think, why bother if my new ideas are being rejected anyway? With neglected and ghost boss, why bother to work hard when no one actually notice about it and no one will give you feedback? With pivot master, why bother to give 100% hard work when they can just change plans just like that? The worst part is, this cycle of not being recognized and not getting promoted don't just hurt your career because it hurts your potential earning, which means it hurts your quality of life. Working with a toxic boss not just affecting how you work, but also affecting how do you see yourself. I think this is the most damaging inside and outside work. You start to doubt about your value, your capability. When your ideas are constantly being shut down and every decision you made is being rejected, you will start to doubt about yourself. You start to second guess yourself even for the most simple tasks at work. I've been there. I once worked with a micromanager and honestly, he was the nightmare of my job. He literally questioned about why I get hired in this position. I thought people are very polite in here and I was really shocked. It crushed me. I worked with him just for a few months, but I kept being criticized for my work. It makes me start to question about my ability, my worth. I start to believe that maybe I'm just not qualified. Maybe I'm just not good enough. I even wonder if my previous boss has lied to me when he said I was doing a great job. When you work with a micromanager and he is the worst type of a micromanager, your self-image will be shaped by his voice. It's like if a child is raised and being told stealing is okay, when they grow up, they may don't think that is a problem or they've got a higher chance to steal things from people. I'm not sure have you watched those criminal documentary videos, stuff like that. There's research showing that if a child grow up from a family that have criminal records, that child would have a higher chance to become a criminal. I'm not judging anyone, but my point is you will truly shaped by the environments, by the people that surround you. Even right now, I'm in a much healthier working environment. When my new line manager asked me, what would you like to improve? What are the skills that you would like to develop? I would say confidence, because deep down, I lack so much confidence at work because of my past experience. I am afraid to talk to clients. I'm afraid to present myself. I'm afraid to share ideas simply because I wasn't able to do that when I was in my previous company. When I was working in my previous company, I would think about, okay, if I change my job, then I would become normal. But I realized working with someone that is so toxic, working with a toxic boss, not only affects you during the work time, it truly will affect you after work and even your life. Your emotions built at work will not just vanish after 5 p.m. We often bring anger, depression, irritation, exhaustion home. Think about how often or what is the last time you would have a bad attitude with your family because of work. A 2024 survey by Headspace has found that 71% of employees said work stress has put their relationship to the end. When you are constantly bringing the bad attitude going home to your loved ones, to your family, it's not possible possible that they will keep smiling at you every single day and give you support every single day. I recall that when I finish work while working with a micromanager, because I work from home, so my family, my parents will knock in my door and check in with me to see if I'm doing okay. I would tell them go away because I felt so annoyed. It's not their fault, but I just so annoyed after working with the micromanager, and I told my parents to go away. I also ignored my partner's call after work day and just left everything behind and go out for a walk because I felt quite lonely at the time because I don't think they understand what is the stress that I was going through, how this person actually affecting my mental health. Right now, looking back, honestly, I think that having a toxic boss, working in a toxic environment, not just affecting you individually during the working hours, but also affecting you, people around you after work, and even you have changed your job. So I hope that you already understand how damaging working with the toxic boss is. And right now, let's just jump to the solution part, and I hope you will really take actions after listening to the solutions. The first step, what's in it for them? Have a polite conversations about how would you like things to proceed, but focus on the benefits on them, what they can get from it. Most toxic bosses are primarily concerned with their own interests. Most people are selfish, so consider how your suggestions will benefit them directly. Learn how to read people. After you working with them for a while, for some time, you will start to see what they actually want, what they want to get in this job. They might be motivated by impressing a client. They might want to get promotion. You can tell by what they said and what they do. For example, with my micromanager, I know he just wants to impress my clients, so he called hourly to check our progress. He puts our clients first, and I think this is very normal. Just his behavior shouldn't be like that. So when this happened, I would say something, okay, I will, and then repeat the whole instructions, because he afraid that I'm not following his instructions. Then if there is something wrong, then the clients may blame him. So I would explain what is his instructions to make sure he knows I understand what he's talking about. Then I would say, would it be okay if we schedule around a certain time? And then I think this would give me a better window to focus and really properly to pull things together. So at that time, you will have a much more clear and polished version that you can update to the client much faster. Because if I have more time, I can actually do a better quality of work and finish it faster. And in the industry that I'm working in, time is the main concern. We would like to finish things as soon as possible. So when your suggestions align with their goals, most of the time they will agree with it. But if talking to them politely doesn't help, then you need to escalate to your line manager. I get rid of my micromanager and ghost manager by escalating things to my line manager. And yes, they actually the same person. Maybe you would be thinking, how can someone become micromanaging and also become a ghost? Here's what happened. During a meeting with a director, he asked me to handle all of the setup, but I'm new to the company at the time. I wasn't familiar with the process. I don't know how to do it. And he got angry. He just left the meeting room. He left me to figure it out by myself, even though he constantly called me and checked in my progress. When I've got questions and asking about something relating to his approach, he would say something like, oh, you ask your line manager. Oh, you ask another colleague. He never tried to help me. He never tried to give me solutions or guide me on how to do the things exactly. And thankfully, I had a senior and teammates who witnessed his behavior and support me. So they have become my witness on everything that has happened. Therefore, I would really suggest that protect yourself by documenting everything. Save emails, record conversations, and note down the incidents. These documentations become crucial evidence when you have to escalate things to your line manager. I start to record our meetings or even invite others to our meetings whenever I had to work with him again. The third is think about your existing strategy. This is what I start to think about when I encounter a neglector, when everything doesn't work, when you can't have a polite conversations with the boss, when you escalate things to your line manager and nothing has changed, then honestly, I'm not sure why you have to stay into this company. But I know a lot of people will say, It's not easy to get a job. If there's a will, there's a way. I always think about it. If you really decide something, you will figure it out at the end. You will. I've heard a lot of people saying that they would like to change their job, and at the end, they didn't change it because they cannot get a new job. And the reason they cannot get a new job because they didn't even try to find one, or they will submit a few CVs and think, okay, the job market is really doomed right now. I shouldn't change my job. It's very risky to change the job right now. I didn't receive any interview, so I may be not good enough to change my job. When you have a single thought about you cannot get a new job, this thought will manifest in every way. You may not put 110% writing your CV. You may not prepared enough to get an interview. You may not reach out to as many people as you should because you think the job market is doomed. If you really think about changing your jobs, answer the following questions. Have you tailor-made your CV to different positions that you applied for? Have you tailor-made your cover letters to different companies that you applied for? How much do you know about the companies that you are applying? How do you prepare the potential questions that will be asked during the interview? Have you reached out to all of your friends and asked about are there any opportunities in their companies? Have you even tried to reach out people on LinkedIn and ask about the company, maybe even try to ask for a referral? Have you reached out to the recruiters and ask them if they can get you a job? By the way, LinkedIn is a very great way to networking with people in your profession. You can actually reach out to the senior positions in that company and directly ask them. Think about how many people working in your industry and they are or actually on LinkedIn for you to reach out. At this point, you may think that I'm crazy, it's not possible. How can I reach out to a strangers? And then this is why I said, if you think it's not possible, it will manifest in every way. I have sent a message on LinkedIn to a stranger and asked about job. Also, have you even tried to upgrade yourself and make yourself stand out in the industry? When I was working in my previous company, I take up a responsibility that not a lot of people would willing to do, but I know that if I take up that responsibility, it is easier for me to stand out during the interview. Almost every single day, there are companies in your industry is hiring. If you think this is your last solution, you need to become well prepared for this. Don't let your mind to keep you stuck in a toxic environment, to work with a toxic boss. I've been stuck with them before. I truly wish that I had left my company much earlier. I hope by the end of this video, you will truly reflect how a toxic boss is affecting your life and do take some actions to improve your life, to become a happier and more peaceful version of yourself. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.